Wrong one. What's he doing? I'm going live, Dan.
You are live.
What? What, on Twitter? Right, well, you can come and say that on the stream. Right, okay. Right. Right. Have you put it up? Right, it's on. Right. Tell Rowena to turn that down. Tell Rowena to turn that down. Turn that down, Alif, that speaker. Yeah, put the speaker off. Rowena. Rowena, I can hear the TV. I can hear the TV. Turn it down.
TV's off.
Right, okay. Oh, right, it's the boys. Right, yeah, we've heard that Trump's account has been suspended for 12 hours, along with Lynn Wood. So, how's that for starters? There's also been massive false flags today. It seems that when the crowd crashed through to get to the House, the Congress, we've now got proof that it was Antifa. There was coachloads of Antifa dressed as MAGA supporters infiltrating the Trump supporters, and we've got all sorts of evidence of it. So there you go. It's the same old story. And I've seen the assassination of the woman, all she was guilty of. From what we can hear, I've seen the guy that was next to her, and he basically filmed it all, and I've seen the footage. And he said the police said we can come in as long as we don't smash things up, and they let him in the building. And they was literally getting very close to where all the congressmen stand. And then police shot through the window, or security forces shot through the window, it looks like a handgun, and shot her right in the neck. Virtually killed her. Well, she was talking for a little while. So, right, Dean, how are you, mate? Yeah, we've got false flags here, Dean. It seems like the Trump supporters, I mean, they've been picked on from the moment they got there, wound up, and Pence is either a paedophile or he's corrupted with the Chinese Communist Party, just like Boris Johnson and his wife, and David Cameron and his wife and her family, just like Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and James Biden. Well, no, basically it isn't over. It's the beginning of exposing the truth of these people. That's what we're living in, Welshwoody. It's the beginning of exposing the truth. Right, I've done it. Right, so I mean, they're going to try and. I've got the evidence now already that this was a false flag and that these are Antifa that have infiltrated the Trump supporters. Right, Alif, I'm going to quickly go through the photographs. Right. Also, we've got Sadiq Khan tweeting that he obviously supports democracy, right? You know, he supports the Joe Biden crowd against Donald Trump.
Oh wait, no,
and I've got evidence to show that actually it's the other way around. See, what you got to realise, everything with these people is an illusion.
Which one do you want first?
We get Sadiq Khan.
This,
right,
you read this. Wait, let me just get this straight.
Right, okay.
I know what you mean.
So what we got Sadiq Khan's tweet here. This is today. Alif's highlighting it. Can we? Deeply disturbing scenes from the Capitol building. Solidarity with our friends in America tonight. These extremists are intent on attacking democracy and stoking division. Sent at 8:57 British time, January the 6th, 2021. Right, so that's Sadiq Khan, what he sent at 8:57 tonight. Can we show Sadiq Khan's
Twitter account.
no, the ones that I got from Dan that shows.
Here.
Yeah, David Curtin in December, right? And this was printed on the 1st of January. In December, I asked Sadiq Khan what the GLA are doing to remove Smartmatic counting machines from the involvement in the London elections on the 6th of May 2021. Given widespread allegations of election fraud in the US elections, I'm still awaiting a response. Where did you get that one from, Alif?
Huh?
Where's the other one?
Oh, it's right next to it.
So, oh, right, okay. So, right, this is another tweet relating to... So, now, Smartmatic is very similar to the... is part of the... So, Sadiq Khan has ordered some of those same fraudulent Smartmatic voting machines that have destroyed the vote in America for eternity, unless something is done, to the tune of £9 million. Firstly, where the hell did he get the money from? And someone has to step in to stop it. So, but Sadiq Khan... Where's the original one that you said from Sadiq Khan? Huh? Where's that original one from Sadiq Khan where he said he supports... oh, here we go, here, right? So this is Sadiq Khan. This is the truth of Sadiq Khan. He wants to use Smartmatic... Good evening, Lodge. He wants to use Smartmatic voting machines, right? Which are linked to the Dominion voting machines, right? But, you know, because he doesn't really believe in democracy, he wants to cheat democracy, right? And, you know, David Curtin asked him, in December, I asked Sadiq Khan what the GLA are doing to remove Smartmatic counting machines from the involvement in the London elections on the 6th of May 2021. Given widespread allegations of election fraud in the US elections, I'm still awaiting a response. That was on the 1st of the 1st, 21. And today, Sadiq Khan pretends... Deeply disturbing scenes from Sadiq Khan's tweet today at 8:57 p.m. on January 6, 2021, British time. Deeply disturbing scenes from the Capitol building, solidarity with our friends in America tonight. These extremists are intent on attacking democracy and stoking division. No, because we've got proof now that these people... this has come from Welsh Blonde Girl. Alif, how do I scroll down on these?
Scroll down?
Yeah. Right.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, all staged, like the woman shot, staged and not. That's the woman that's been assassinated. That's been on... is that the woman that's shot? That's been on... who is timing? It's been on band.video. They've got the live picture of it happening where she got shot. Right, I don't see much on this video. Now, where is... what's it actually showing here? Right, so we've got this image here. Right, so this here, Antifa. So here we go. We've got these guys. This guy, there he is there inside the Congress today. He's on the right-hand side and it says phillyantifa.org, circled there. And there he is on the yellow, on the left, with the same guy, and he's with the guy, and then there's the guy on the right-hand side of the left-hand picture. He's got the buffalo hat on, and he's a bit dubious as well. What we know is there was several coachloads of Antifa that's mixed in with the Trump supporters that crashed the police barriers today. So as you can see, the red circle inside it says phillyantifa.org. Oh, Carrie can't find me live. Dean, have you got Carrie's phone number? Oh, Alif.
Yeah?
I've timed Welsh Woody out for 300 seconds. Can you get him back on?
No.
Why not?
Because you're an idiot and you can't undo
Have I
that.
deleted his tweets?
You banned him.
No.
You can't undo that.
Oh, right, he's going to have to wait.
Poor Woody.
I mean, Woody, while you're sitting there, can you give... how can I send a link to this channel to Welsh Blonde Girl?
On your...
By email.
Huh?
By email. Send her a link. Can we do it on my phone?
No, we'll do it after. It's more... You can't really copy a link on here, on the phone. I don't know, it's a bit hard. Oh, she found us.
Oh, she's there. Oh, you found you. Right, well done, Carrie. We're just trying to work out. So we're using your pictures, Carrie. Dan had a load of pictures as well, but he was worried. He's not sure if the guy with the buffalo thing on is Antifa or not, but I think he is, really. It's hard to say, but there's another guy here. I'm not sure. Do you know anything about this guy, Carrie? Jake Angeli, actor voice. Here he is there, but he's got an American flag on there, and that's this guy is from Arizona. Here's a photo took of him. Yeah, we got you, Carrie. We got you. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can people hear me there? Can you all hear me? Is that meant to be a joke, Lodge? Right, so what we got here? We've got... And there they all are here. He's now, according... I mean, they're all supposed to be... They reckon that this guy has got a communist hammer and sickle tattoo on his hand. Right, and this is him here. Where is he? He's there. And that's him there as phillyantifa.org. So, I mean, this is all going to be exposed. It seems that Antifa is mixed in with the Patriots at some point or another today, and there's a few coach loads of them. So that's, and then we've got this. I don't know who that guy is. Jake Angeli, actor voice. Where does it say he's Antifa? Oh, it's got some writing right in the bottom there in the corner. Oh God. So right in the bottom left-hand corner, it says he's yeah, the guy, Mimar Lee, the guy on the Alex Jones show, who photographed the assassination of the woman by the policeman, and all she was guilty of. I know she was in the building, but there was, it was the police were, well, they shot her dead. She was waving a Trump flag, and he said that he's the guy who photographed it all. He went on the Alex Jones Band.video show, and they used his video to show how she got shot. And he said, well, who are you? He said, I'm a private journalist. And exactly what Mimar Lee said there. He said, I infiltrate Antifa regularly, and I recognised there was loads of Antifa there. And I thought, oh my God, they're with us today. They're joining up with us, but they wasn't. They were infiltrating, and they were the ones that broke through the police. And he basically says that when I infiltrate Antifa, because he recognised their faces, he knows them, he infiltrates them. And he said that they always wear the MAGA hat backwards. That's how you know they're Antifa. Yeah, that's it. On Band.video is Alex Jones, Carrie, yeah. So it was Alex Jones. There's probably more than one footage. So this is basically, these are all Carrie's photographs. Dan had a load. But then he got cold feet and said he's not sure which ones, if it really is true. But look, the man in yellow is a communist hammer and sickle. This is pretty much the same as what Brexit Matman sent me anyway, Carrie. But we decided to go with your lot. But I'm going to go through what Sadiq Khan said, right? There's Sadiq Khan. Deeply disturbing scenes from the Capitol building. Solidarity with our friends in America tonight. These extremists are intent on attacking democracy and stoking division. 8:57 p.m. January the 6th, 2021. right? But if he really cares about democracy, in December, from David Curtin, and this is a tweet on the 1st of January 2021. In December, I asked Sadiq Khan what the GLA are doing to remove Smartmatic counting machines from the involvement in the London elections on the 6th of May 2021. Given widespread allegations of election fraud in the US elections, I'm still awaiting a... Hello, Sentinel. I'm still awaiting a response. So that was on the 1st of January. So this is how much Sadiq Khan really cares about democracy. And the Souks said, so Sadiq Khan has ordered some of those same fraudulent Smartmatic voting machines that have destroyed the vote in America for eternity, unless something is done to the tune of £9 million. Firstly, where the hell did he get the money from? And someone has to step in to stop it. So Sadiq Khan really doesn't care about democracy, does he? Right, Alif, can we get rid of all this now and I can go live? Do I just delete it? Do I just minimise it all?
Huh?
Do I just minimise it?
You want to get rid of that thing?
I want the picture up. Oh, right. Yeah, the police line broke too easily and the building was not protected as heavily as normal. That's exactly what Mark Weston said to me, actually. And I said to him, well, you know, the police don't really like Black Lives Matter. The police don't really like the Dems, and they're probably a bit sympathetic to Trump supporters. Right? But he said, no, it's a setup. And I said, well, yeah, I agree with you. The police don't like them. Black Lives Matter want to defund the police, and they don't want to see people like Joe Biden getting. But maybe, you know, I don't know. This has been a setup. Now we believe that they're going to do the 25th Amendment, and Vice President Pence has ordered the National Guard in. He's collaborated. Is it with Nancy Pelosi or is it with with Nancy Pelosi, I think. And now the next thing we expect them to do is try and remove the president by the 25th Amendment. Yeah. Khan is on the fiddle. So, you know, it's our duty to expose the truth. That is an assassination of a woman who wasn't armed, who had a Trump flag. So she broke into the building. They are cheating the American people. And indirectly, they're cheating us as well, because we won't get a trade deal with America. And it's already affected our deal with the European Union, because Joe Biden said, you better sort out the Irish border to Boris. So Boris then changed his mind and give him an excuse to put the border down the Irish Sea. Boris's deal has betrayed us. So we are now in a situation where we're living under tyranny, just like the American people. We've been locked down now. How many times has he locked us down now? It was the second time he locked us down was all this tier system's a joke, but now he's gone to a full lockdown now. So it's been going on like this since Halloween night. This is the second big lockdown. What do you mean we lost? Yeah, we know that Mike Pence's wife had an envelope. Who sent the envelopes? That's what I want to know. Why have we lost badly, Sentinel? You're always coming here, bloody hell. Basically, all Trump has to do to trump them all is just do the Insurrection Act. And basically just declare the election null and void because of he's got the DNI report of foreign interference on the 45 days after the 3rd of November. It was reported by John Ratcliffe that there was foreign interference. So on that basis alone, the election is null and void. Trump has the power to do that. And also he can do the Insurrection Act because it's an insurrection from within. And if they try and remove him, get the martial law straight away, round them all up. He's got special forces pitched all over the country to round everyone up. So this is my opinion, where I believe Trump should be going next. And he actually declares the general election because he has no choice. He has sworn to protect the Republic from enemies within and enemies abroad. And we know through UBS wasn't it, Brexit Map Man? Look, what it is, Sentinel, I think you've been watching the BBC or Sky News, mate. They seem to be depressing you. God, oh, fucking hell, he's coming in here. Can we? Of course he'll do it. This was all part of the... I mean, look, he has to do it. Because if he doesn't do it... Right, okay, Sentinel's given up. I don't believe he's given up. I believe that Trump is... what have they done? Did they have any weapons? They just got into the building. And because Pence was betraying them. Pence was the most powerful man in the world today. Pence had the ability, once he opened that envelope up for Arizona... And then the person challenged it from Arizona and said that I don't agree with it. Pence should have just said, "Oh, right, well, Arizona's uncertified." He had the power to do that, but he let them go into the Senate to debate it. That's when we knew that there was, and every battleground state, the 6 or 7 battleground states of Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Arizona, right? We knew then that they was all going to go in and debate them, and then there's going to come out and say, "Oh, we're going to set an inquiry team up to check if there's been any voter rigging, and we come back in 10 days' time." Well, that wasn't good enough, because we know what that means. That will be the 16th of January, 4 days before Inauguration Day, and that was to cancel out all the people's anger outside. Once the people knew that Pence was getting the people, that's when Antifa made their move against the police, and the police let them through. And of course, the patriots have been wound up all day anyway, because they never treat us fairly. Because Trump can just, he has the power to invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807, and he can make the election null and void and declare martial law. That's it. That's why he only has to do that. And also, through the foreign interference with 45 days by the Department of National Intelligence, run by John Ratcliffe, he, within 45 days of November the 3rd, declared there was also foreign interference. So you've got insurrection and you've got foreign interference. Each one of those, if he invokes them, gives him the ability to make the election null and void. He just has to do it. That's all he has to do. Because if he doesn't, the militia's going to start coming out and drag. They've already attacked. Which buildings have they gone for today? Let's just double check which ones they went for. I've been told that in Georgia and Kansas state capitol buildings both stormed. I was told that round about 8:30 today. So at 8:30, Georgia and Kansas state buildings were also attacked. So it's starting to spread. Do you understand what I'm saying here? It's starting to spread. So when it starts to spread, you have to do the Insurrection Act. Well, the militia can do all this. So they don't need Trump. The people can do it. There's 300 million guns in America. Yeah, you was right about Boris, but you're not. See, the trouble is, I mean, this is what I've been saying to Mark Weston today. I try to have faith in human spirit. You can say I'm naive if you want to. I don't mind, but you're not betrayed until you're betrayed. Right, you say he won't. I believe, well, if he don't, then the people will do it. We'll end up in a really horrible, nasty civil war. Look, do you think Donald Trump is going to allow his family to be treated like the Kennedy family were? Georgia and Kansas, there you go. Welsh Blonde Girls heard of it as well. Where did you hear about that, Carrie? Well, see, Boris showed his hand on Halloween night. And what he's done, this is the second time Boris has interfered with two American general elections. Because 3 days after Halloween night, it was the American general election. And within about 72 hours of that, he backed Biden. and everybody knew that Biden cheated. So that's an interference. Biden is a TV chosen president, and we know now, everybody knows that it's a cheat. It's a massive cheat. So everything that was done by the American patriots today supporting Trump was legitimate because it's them that's cheated. We know that they've cheated. Well, you can be a realist. Well, no, what it is, you cannot get power in Parliament now. What Lynn Wood has shown us, on the Alex Jones show, what Lynn Wood has showed us that everyone who wants power has to commit a paedophile act, and it has to be photographed, and they all have to do it, or they have to be corrupt businessmen, and they all keep the photographs of each other committing paedophilia. And Linwood says that they shoot the babies or the children afterwards that they have sex with. These are young girls or young boys, like 10 or 12 or something like that. And then some of them strangle them to death, some of them shoot them dead, and it's all on film. Everyone's got it on everyone. You cannot get on in politics today unless you commit these heinous crimes. This is why it's our duty. Linwood has told us this. I've put the videos up on my other Patriotic Twins UK channel. There's 3 videos up about it. That Roberts, the head Supreme Court judge, is a paedophile. He adopted 2 children from Wales or Ireland, but really they didn't come from Wales or Ireland. They come from Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein's still alive. Linwood has promised that, and he knows where Jeffrey Epstein is, and it's all going to come out. So this is basically what's going on, Sentinel. And Parliament's the same as Congress today. They're all swamp creatures, every single one of them. What we've got Keir Starmer voting everything what Boris Johnson does. Because written in the small print of the European Union deal is that if a Prime Minister gets in that's sympathetic towards the EU, he can take us back into the EU without asking for a referendum. So that was the deal we signed up for. We're leaving. And if we ever go back, we'd have to have another referendum. Maybe in a generation, in 20 years' time. Like the Scottish SNP can't have it. Oh, by the way, it's not just Sadiq Khan that's using Smartmatic machines. The SNP use Dominion Light Smartmatic machines to count their votes as well. So maybe they've got in illegally as well. Isn't it funny how the Welsh are all voting for Brexit, but the Scottish aren't? Maybe it's because they've been using Smartmatic machines. Yeah, so they're all at it, and we are legitimate to oppose these people. They're all paedophiles in Parliament. They're all paedophiles in the American public. All the judges are compromised in America. We know that Judge Roberts is a paedophile. Everybody knows it. It's just a matter of waiting for Trump to prove it all now, to get all the evidence out and put it in everyone's face. Pence is there with Nancy Pelosi calling out the National Guard tonight. So Trump's got to act. He's got to move. Otherwise, Trump's family will end up like Kennedy's family. Trump Jr. will get an aeroplane crash. The other Trump kid will die in a car crash. Trump will be put in prison and die of COVID-19. And it'd just be his whole family. It'd be a disaster. I don't think Trump's going to allow that to happen. Trump will be the president of the United States. He's got the military behind him. There's a few generals in the army, but the actual soldiers themselves will not fire on special forces, who Trump has control of. They will not fire on the Marines, who Trump has control on. The Navy is following Trump. The Air Force is following Trump. And Space Force is following Trump. And he has millions and millions and millions of militia. And there's also the oath... what are they called? The oath seekers or something, or the oath under Stuart Rhodes. You need to look him up as well. So, I mean, me personally, I think that Trump's playing a brinkmanship game, and what's happening is, as each day goes by, more and more of these swamp creatures are exposing themselves, because when he does enact martial law, he's got the evidence now, because they've all stuck their heads up and above it, like the Supreme Court, like Mike Pence, Mike Pence has had the chance on the 23rd of December to stop this cheating general election, and by turning around and decertifying the 6 or 7 states, battleground states, and he refused to do it. That's how we knew he was a traitor. We knew that nothing was going to come today when the first envelope through alphabetical order was going to be Arizona, and they never really went beyond that. So this is where we are. I've been watching it. I mean, there hasn't been much to talk about. I'll put the videos up, what's been said on my other channel, and it's all about Linwood, what he's been saying. Some people was criticising him earlier in the week, last week, and then actually as the week went on, everyone agreed with him, and he carried on. Linwood just doubled down, telling everyone that they're all paedophiles. Yeah. Yeah, Trump's Twitter's been blocked for 12 hours. And who else's Twitter's been blocked? Brexit Matman? Linwood, is it? Or is it General Flynn? Someone else has had their Twitter blocked as well, haven't they, for 12 hours? Was it Linwood? Anyone else got any opinions on this? Oh, and Linwood, yeah, Dan's saying it, and Linwood. He's been blocked for 12 hours as well. So it's Trump and Linwood have both been blocked on Twitter for 12 hours. So this is where we are now, right? The first person 2 years ago to get their free speech completely taken off all the platforms. Yeah, Pence got, who sent the envelope so mid-J? Well, Trump's got to stop it now. He's got to stop this stupid game, and he's got to declare the Insurrection Act and invoke the foreign interference, and basically get special forces to move. Because if he don't, the militia will do this anyway. People are not prepared to go under communism. This is what's happening in this country as well. They're forcing us to lock down for a flu virus. No one's died of flu last year, so we know what's going on. It's just all rubbish. It's all rubbish. I mean, Mark Weston was right today. That was all the police, but it was done to make the Trump supporters look bad. So people are not going to believe. Some people that still won't believe Trump's real until he starts executing people up against the wall, because he has passed a law in November that people are found guilty of treason, and we have got thousands of them. All the politicians, all the judges, all the journalists, right? All part of the false flags that have been going on right back beyond 9/11, right? Yeah, I know, Jesus, I know. Put some videos up, put some links up to all the videos, Jesus, of all the empty hospitals. And what I want everyone else to notice is that all the ambulances are driving about. When you go inside the North Circular, you just see ambulances everywhere. I drive in London, and I just see ambulances everywhere. And what that's telling me is that they're all empty. We found out last winter, we had someone working in Watford Hospital, and they confirmed to us that the ambulances, because Food for Health, she lived in Bushy, and she said it really seems strange. Every time ambulance keep coming out every 3 or 4 hours, this is the last lockdown in the winter, last winter, that they keep driving around. It seems like they're driving in the same direction. They go past my house, and it seems like it's the same route they're taking every time. So I said, well, why don't you ask your friend, because she had a friend in there that worked in the hospital. And that friend confirmed, because they was telling us everything that was going on in Watford Hospital, that ambulances are leaving empty with their sirens on and coming back empty with their sirens on. And it's all to terrorise people that there's a pandemic out there. This is what we're living under. This is communism. This is the Marxist TV disguised as an independent media. They're not. They're Marxist media disguised as independent media. Yeah, we all know they got an envelope. Who sent them the envelope, Mid-J? They all got one, and so did Pence's wife. So, Jesus Jones, watch this guy's videos travelling around Nottingham. Right. Stephanie Griffin resigning. Who's Stephanie Griffin? Is that in America or in this country? It sounds like something from this country, doesn't it? Welsh blonde girl? Backhanders. Is she a Welsh MP, Welsh blonde girl? Griffin's a Welsh name, isn't it? Right, you have to go back, Jesus Jones, to see the hypocrisy. Right, okay. She's been arrested, isn't she, by the police? Oh, America. Stephanie Griffin's American. What party is she in? Yeah, the hypocrisy of Sadiq Khan today is unbelievable. Unbelievable. But I understand that Boris has been tweeting his hatred of Trump supporters. Well, we know that he's just a Chinese Communist Party puppet as well. Right, I mean, like Boris's wife is Marina Wheeler, his ex-wife, QC. She works for Great Britain Chinese Centre, and along with Oliver Letwin, and he's the vice president, she's a director, and they're encouraging Chinese to come into this country. And it's like we've got these cars that all cars made in this country are using Chinese batteries. And you know what? Think about all those poor little African kids in the Congo that have to dig that cobalt up with their hands out of the soil, and it's all the most disgusting heavy metals you can get. And this is all meant to be green. This is all meant to be green, the batteries. And they're using child slave labour to get these batteries, this cobalt. And then the Chinese, they control massive percentages of the world's cobalt. Right, okay. And Boris managed to get a deal with the European Union that if we send British cars into the European Union, they're allowed to have the Chinese-made batteries, not European Union-made batteries. And that's obviously something to do with GBCC, which Boris's ex-wife's part of, and Oliver Letwin, and they're all in on it. They're all in on it, getting backhanders. So they're all swamp creatures, a lot of them. Mandelson's in on it as well. So they're cross-party cooperation here, everything. Jesus Jones has been right all the time. Conservative and Labour equals communism. And Democrats and Republicans equal communism. They're all working together. They're all swamp creatures. So how much longer is it going to be before people start storming our parliament? It's not going to be long now. The English-speaking peoples are waking up. It'll be in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and it will be in the UK. The Tory party's finished. These are not representing our interests, these people. First Lady, Chief of Staff or something. What, for the Republican Party? Stephanie Grisham, let's take it. Right. Stephanie Grisham is an American White House official, served up to 32nd White House Press Secretary and White House Communications Director from July 2019 to April 2020. During her time as a White House Press Secretary, she did not hold a briefing. Yes, she did not. There she is. Stephanie Ann Grisham, Nee Allen, born July 23rd, 76, is a former American White House official who served as 32nd White House Press Secretary and as White House Communications Director from July 2019 to April 2020. During her time as White House Press Secretary, she did not hold a briefing. She served as Chief of Staff and Press Secretary to the First Lady. For the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump. From 2020 to January the 6th, 2021, and previously as Press Secretary. So why has she resigned? So she worked. Oh, that's interesting. Well, there you go. She was a press aide to Donald Trump. Early life. Stephanie Ann Allen was born in either Colorado or Washington to David and Elizabeth Ann Allen. She's the middle child of three. Her family are farmers. She moved with her mother to East Wenatchee, Washington. That's in Washington State, where she graduated from Eastmont High School in '94. Her mother has since moved to Nebraska, where she is known as Ann Schroeder. Grisham began voting in Arizona as a registered Democrat in '97. Grisham, a registered Democrat. Grisham attended Colorado Mesa University but did not earn a degree. Personal life. Stephanie Ann Somerville. How many times does these people add? So she married Danny Don Marias in Nevada, April '97. They met at Mesa State College in Grand Junction, Colorado. They had a son in June '98, and her husband joined Cold TV as a news anchor in Tucson, Arizona. On the day after her son's first birthday, they divorced in 2004. Later in 2004, she subsequently married Todd. They do like a divorce and a remarry, don't they, in America? Todd Grisham, a cold sportscaster. They divorced in 2006. 2008, she had a second son. Fucking hell. Incidents of driving while intoxicated. On January the 9th, 2013, Grisham was pulled over for speeding in Gilbert, Maricopa County, Arizona. The officer observed Grisham's signs of intoxication and she failed a field sobriety test. Grisham denied consuming any alcohol but said she had taken a Xanax 19 minutes earlier and a Zoloft the prior night. The blood test revealed Grisham's blood alcohol to be 0.105%, which is above 0.08 legal limit in Arizona. She was also found to be driving on a suspended licence since August 2012 for failure to answer a traffic citation. In August 2014, Grisham accepted a plea bargain agreement that reduced the charge to misdemeanor, reckless driving plus 2 years of probation. She returned to court twice for failure to pay the $779 in fines and failure to complete Mothers Against Drunk Driving program. Shortly after midnight, December the 5th, 2015, Grisham was arrested again in Phoenix, Maricopa County, Arizona, for driving without her headlights and suspicion of driving under the influence, thus violating her prohibition. Grisham failed to appear at a court hearing on January the 19th, 2016, whereupon the judge issued a warrant for her arrest. Afterwards, Grisham pleaded guilty in July 2016. She was ordered into a treatment programme to pay nearly £1,600 in court costs. Well, how did she get a job with Donald Trump? Fucking hell. You couldn't make it up with these people. So basically, she's a pisshead. Trilateral Commission, yeah. What about the World Economic? Ain't Starmer part of the World? What's it called, Dan? The World Economic Forum. Ain't he part of that as well, Dan? Starmer. Oh yeah, Boris and Starmer, two peas in a pod. I mean, we were slow on the point, but me and Brexit Matt, man, we like to give people the benefit of the doubt. You give them a chance. The Tories have had a chance now. You can't help these people. You've seen it throughout Europe with populism. We are now heading for, we need someone to come through, whether it's Nigel Farage who keeps selling the cause to the establishment, I don't know. Yeah, what is this magic square? You talking about the square mile, Jesus Jones? WEF, World Economic Forum. Oh, you don't know. Who's on the police fire brigade in Parliament? Oh, Freemasons. Look at the magic square. It goes back to free. Oh, right, okay. Right. Shalom. How are you, Becky? False flag, Becky. Antifa's mixed in with the Patriots. Coach loads of them got in there. And they're the ones that broke through to, and then they got in the White House as well. And then they've assassinated a woman for carrying a Trump flag inside Congress, shot her in the neck. Yeah, what I'm saying is, isn't Keir Starmer a member of the World Economic Forum? Congress is going to start again soon. Oh my God. Trump's got to do something about this. He has to, maybe he has to let it all play out. Because it's only when they vote to accept Biden. See, this is the brinkmanship that Trump's playing. Let them start it up again, right? Let them all pass Biden and give Biden the presidency. This is basically the game that Trump's playing. And then all those who vote for Biden are treated as traitors because it's been cheated. That's all the Republican Party and the Democratic Party in the old Powers Act, because the Republican Party like to finish runners-up in a general election, so they get all the payments. They get all the payments to keep them sweet. So they're not representing the people, they're representing themselves. I mean, Mark Weston was on it straight away. I think I don't know. I mean, what he pointed out, actually, he's the Buffalo guy, and he said, what's going on? I said, well, actually, they do all this sort of stuff. Because when they done the Boston Tea Party in 1776, and they threw all the tea in the Boston Harbour because the British delivered it and they went to pay tax, they all dressed up as Red Indians to frighten because they in a way they'd sort of gone native a little bit. When they used to fight the British, they couldn't stand up to the redcoats in a straight, march towards each other and shoot it out. So they fought like the Red Indians would fight. They'd do guerrilla tactics like the Red Indians fought. And also on D-Day, when they went behind enemy lines, was it the Green Berets who done it for the Americans? I don't know, or the Paras, whatever you want to call them. they all had Mohican haircuts. So when I saw the guy with the big buffalo thing on with horns, I said to Mark, "Oh, they do this sort of thing. They dress up like natives." And I quoted him the Boston Tea Party and D-Day. But then I started getting the photographs that showing that these guys are linked to Antifa and everyone, and then I realised that it is a false flag. It is a false flag, yeah. So, yeah, the supporters have been played. But it's for us to say this because you're not going to see it on mainstream media. It's only on YouTube with people like us that are going to say it, and we have to say it. We have to get the truth out there. It's supposed to be Jesus. We're not. I mean, Dan had the pictures of it, but he said, "Don't use my pictures. Let Welsh Blonde Girl put her pictures up front." But they were all the same pictures that I've got of Dan and Welsh Blonde Girl, and it seems that he probably is, yeah. But we're not 100% sure on anything. But yeah, he looks like he is. But I'm not 100% sure. But it's not that. If you speak to everyone, they all say there was a couple of coach loads of Antifa, and the police escorted them right to the front of the Trump crowd, right where the police were. And the police were obviously told to back off, to stand down and let them through. Milk supremacist. I don't know you, do I? Well, I can't now because they're all the same as what the picture. You're late on again, Jesus. Milk supremacist. Do we know you? Who's you've been watching the shenanigans? Yeah, we have watched the shenanigans. Yeah, the false flags and the assassination, and we've also heard the hypocrisy of Sadiq Khan, who pretends he believes in democracy, but he's ordering Smartmatic machines for the elections, the London elections. What do you think about that, Jesus? Sadiq Khan has ordered the Smartmatic machines to count the votes in the May 2021 elections. Well, all of the marches in London have had lefties in them. Who flies a bloody Union Jack out of that lot? They don't fly Union Jacks. There's no patriotism there with them people. How many people do you think is going to be out? We know each other through YouTube. Okay, I know a lot of people through YouTube. You know Milk's racist, don't you, supremacist? Like cauliflower. Right. So I think that's it, really. I haven't really got much else to say on the subject. What's the time? I've got work tomorrow, so I don't want to be staying up too late. Anyone else got any more to contribute towards this stream tonight? Anyone else got anything more to contribute? Any other news? Trump's had his Twitter banned for 12 hours. Well, what's all that about? He's the president. You can't do that. This is how he communicates to the people. He can't go through mainstream media because they're the enemy. So he only has Twitter, so they actually want to silence the voice of the president. And they've been doing that ever since the 3rd of November. I don't think so, Jesus. I think this is the end, mate. I believe that we are in a different age now, where socialism, cultural Marxism, communism and liberalism is finished. Well, I think he's going to remove them. Yeah, I drink it all the time. Do you like? I drink raw milk, whole fat raw milk. Cost me a fortune. MAD isn't when the governor is banned. Means he's not. It's an independent media, isn't it? They've got Section 230. Jesus. Well, let them look. I think what we have to do. What we have to do. We have to. Oh, fucking hell, Jesus. Right, what we have to do, we have to let this process play out. We have to let the vote go through and let all the Republicans vote for Biden. And that adds to the list of treasonous traitors. That's it, let it happen. Let it happen. And it's at that point Trump invokes the Insurrection Act of 1807. That is the point. And then when he does that, the special forces go into action. How are you, Shalar? We haven't seen you in here. You know I've got 5 channels, don't you, Shalar? And they're all called Patriotic Twins UK. I put a fantastic video up. Aleph spent ages cutting and pasting it from the General Custer film. And after the Civil War in 1865, he wanted to go out west to fight the Red Indians. And he knew the Red Indians were getting a rough deal from the trains. They were building the trains. And there was a million of them out there on the plains. But it was his job. No, who are the Turner Diaries? It was his job to send them back to their reservations. Anyway, cut a long story short, Custer had to go to Washington. He got relieved from his position as general, and he went to Washington and he drained the swamp. Custer drained the swamp. He told Ulysses Simpson Grant, known as Unconditional Surrender Grant in the American Civil War, became the president. And he grassed up Grant's brother, who was taking money, probably for building the railroad or something. And he grassed up someone else, and he had to resign. And basically, he drained the swamp. He went to Washington and drained the swamp. And that was round about the late 1860s. Anyway, they took the fucking video down, didn't they? It was on my other channel. It was only up for a couple of hours. No one was watching it because it was while all the stuff was going on at Washington this afternoon. So, have we still got that video, Aleph? She's gone to bed. Yeah, well, because, you know, the temptations are so much. So every 100 years or so, look, there's no system out there that's perfect. But we've got probably the best system in the world, like in our country and in America. It's slightly different in America. They're not a democracy in America, they're a republic. And that's why they have the electoral votes. Yeah, that's what it is. It's down to the people. Or you can expose them all and drain them. And they were good at, you know, in them days, in the 1860s, they all resigned. I mean, what the British would say is, take that pistol, go round the back of the, in that room, in that private room, and put that pistol to your head and do the decent thing, sir, and blow your brains out. You know, in the olden days, you know, you had to fall on your sword, didn't you? Or, you know, blow your brains out. Or, I mean, at least resign. I mean, these people don't even resign. They call you liars. They try and twist it, and they deflect it all back onto you and pretend that you're the lunatic. But America isn't a democracy, it's a republic. But, you know, it has sort of democratic institutions. The Electoral College. If you had true democracy in America, the people that lived in middle America, wouldn't be worth them voting, because it'd be all the people in the big cities that would always win. Yeah. Yeah, because they want to go back to the old Powers Act. Pence is speaking. Yeah, we've heard that Amy got arrested, Paul Smith got arrested. Again, they're all getting arrested again and again. I mean, Amy's an old, she's a warrior. Yeah, of course it's again. She gets arrested all the time. She never talks to them when they arrest her. Right, so can VP Pence invoke the 25th Amendment and declare Trump unfit to run the country? Multiple Republican lawmakers declared they will not object. Oh, I don't think they can do. Well, they will try it, but whether they can get away with it or not, I don't think so. I mean, he's got to be very close to be getting released. I suppose they're waiting to see if Trump wins power. If Trump wins power, then Julian Assange should be given his freedom. I mean, what's he done wrong? Speaker's Corner Steve called out Amy as a what? What's a PLN plant? Oh, fucking hell. You know what? When Amy got smacked in the face down in Soho, Speaker's Corner Steve should be careful what he says, because his boyfriend, I believe it's his boyfriend, when Orange Man was with Amy, they set Amy up. Someone set Amy up to go down to Soho, and she got punched in the face by that bloke. And it just turned out the Speaker's Corner Steve's boyfriend, I believe it's his boyfriend, went and tapped Tango Man on the back of the shoulder when Amy was virtually unconscious on the floor. And they sort of nodded to each other as if to say, yeah, he done a good job. And I asked the guy, why did you do that? And he just said, well, I've just done it. Yeah, right, well, that's it. He knows what I think about it. But if he's going to start saying things like that about Amy, because of all Amy's not perfect. None of us are perfect. I don't think she's a plant. Fucking hell. Why would she be a plant? Well, if you're not ready to go to war, Sentinel, and fight, because what they say, liberty or death. That's why the Americans got their independence. You die fighting for liberty, or you live as a slave. It's up to you, Sentinel. You want to live as a slave, then live as a slave. Me personally, I'm in a difficult situation with 4 kids on my own. But, oh, fucking hell, mate. Well, I've just said what I like. I mean, Speaker's Corner Steve, he shouldn't be saying that. Maybe Amy's been saying... I don't listen to Amy's shows anymore, so I don't know what she's been saying about him. But they're always on very shady ground, them two. They don't get on. Amy's never forgot when she and half got hit by that bloke down and he got arrested, didn't he? It was Tommy Robinson. The police wouldn't arrest him. He was sitting in coffee shops outside with his pet dog. And in the end, I think it was Tommy Robinson said, if you don't arrest him, I'm coming down with 500 geezers to get him. And the police went and arrested him then. But he got a slap on the wrist for knocking Amy spark out. It chinned her. And he punched her on the side of the head, on the temple. And that's where the thinnest part of the skull is. He could have fractured her skull. Well, that's no good, is it, Jesus, if you can't remember it? Right, well, I suggest we all go back. And is it Right Side Broadcasting, Carrie? Is it on? Busker being from a traveller family. I thought he was Jewish. He tells everyone he's Jewish. All I know is Busker's a grass. Well, Amy don't come in this show anymore because I think you give her an hard time when she came in last time, didn't she? Are they going to call the 25th Amendment though, Dan? What happens? Do we know? Does anyone know what happens if they do call the 25th Amendment? Can it go through? Can Trump be removed? This is ridiculous. So that's why Twitter's banned him for 12 hours, so he can't talk to the people for the next 12 hours. Get it? Get out there working and live. So Trump needs to now, they don't know what he's doing, he could just call the Insurrection Act now because he can't tell anyone. He just does it. The 25th Amendment, Sentinel. Yeah, but we're talking about the 25th Amendment, Dan. We know they're going to pass. Let them pass the. It doesn't matter what they do. Trump still has the power to the 20th of January, but I'm not sure how it goes with the 25th Amendment. No, you don't call the militia. He's already done that. We ain't called the militia. He only has to call the Insurrection Act. He's got all the special forces in place, Sentinel. They're all waiting. Well, they both might be. They might be related to each other, milk supremacist. Yeah, instead he asked them to go home peacefully. Who's playing with us? Trump? So you think Trump's a traitor as well, do you, Sentinel? Yeah, let him carry on. That's what we want him to do. We want him to go through the process of treason. And then he's got the whole lot of them. Trump said he's got one hit at breaking the deep state. And this is it. It's a game of brinkmanship. Would I say travellers aren't English? Well, you've got the Irish travellers and you've got the Romany travellers. And they originally come from India. No, not all the travellers are Irish, Jesus. Some of them are Romanis. Well, wait and see what. Say what you're saying. Say it. Come out and say it, Sentinel. You think Trump is playing with the Patriots? Is that what you're saying? Say it. Come out and say it. Romany travellers travelled across it. You can see the Romany ones that we get here from Romania. You can see how dark they are. They're originally from India. Right. Right, okay. Yeah. Well, Trump... Right, all right. Look. Do you think Trump is the real McCoy or not, Sentinel? Thank you, Brexit Matman. We're not the best people to judge people, Brexit Matman, because we like to put faith into people like Boris Johnson. Right, yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to hear from you. You know what? You've put your cards on the table. I've put my. Trump isn't a nationalist. Okay. Right. No, Trump's a constitutionalist and a Christian. But he claims to be a nationalist. But nevertheless, you want to see Trump succeeded, and and do the Insurrection Act. Both you and Sentinel Milk Supremacist. You want to see Trump invoke the Insurrection Act and the Foreign Interference Act. I think he's got. Is it an act? Foreign interference. But he won't. But you want him to, though, don't you? Right. Okay. Well, if he don't, then he's like no others. You're right. You'd be right. I believe he will do it. He's got all the nutters round him now. He's got Alex Jones round him. He's got Lynn Wood round him. He's got Robert Barnes, a constitutional lawyer. He can be quite radical. He's got General Flynn round him. I believe he will. He's got proper people round him now. Those, because everyone else has abandoned him. He's only got the army, otherwise he'd have been killed ages ago. And I don't believe he's controlled opposition. He can't be controlled opposition. They've all turned on him. They all hated him. But you know, if you want to believe we've been played by Trump, I mean, that's it. I mean, we will all see. It will all come out in the end. You know, that's exactly what Mark says. But we will all see. I mean, I wish I was right about Boris, but I wasn't. I was wrong. You lot was right. Yeah. Well, there's someone, Farage, who's controlled opposition. He keeps letting the establishment back in. And Farage is friends with Trump. I mean, look. See, the thing about America, of course they should have a fucking future in their ancestral homelands. I believe in that. If indigenous people in South America can be accepted, and in Australia and in Africa, then yeah, I believe it. Look, I lived in one of the first areas where we had black immigration in 1948. I come from Paddington, right next to Ladbroke Grove, Notting Hill riots of 1958, where white people rioted. I've never been happy about any immigration into my country. I do believe we should have our own. I mean, I spoke to Brexit Matman about it the other day. You know, I believe that the communists won World War II, and they've been using immigration as a people replacement ever since. And if we complain about it, we're called racists, when the real racists have been the people that have been bringing them in to undermine the white European peoples were 33% or 30% of the world's population at the end of World War II. I don't think we're even 10% now. We are the ethnic minorities. And through cultural Marxism, they broke our families. This is our country. Dan's a Christian. Ask him. Dan believes through his Christian theology that we're all human beings. I believe that everyone has a homeland. The Jews lost their homeland for 2,000 years. The Roman Catholics believed that the Jews killed Hitler. The Jews killed Jesus, and that was their punishment. 2,000 years. The evangelical Protestants believe that the Jews should have their home now. They've been punished enough. No, it wasn't the peak. It was, fucking hell, it was to get the British Empire and Germany to destroy each other. Germany literally got destroyed and was rebuilt as a democracy, which was an illusion, because the European Union would eventually come over it from the coal and steel industry, which would then become the European Economic Community, which would then become the European Union, and eventually they would control everything. And I believe the European Union is a communist institution. Yeah, muscular Christianity believes in the nation state. Yeah. Well, ask Dan. Well, yeah, we know that General Allenby marched into Palestine to take it from the sick man of Europe, Jesus, during World War One. General Allenby took the Holy Lands. But then was it Beaverbrook or something that wrote a letter to Lord Rothschild to say that we will hand over Palestine to Israel? So at that time, the Jews pulled all their money out of supporting the Germans in World War One. And that's what sent Hitler mad, because he got gassed at the time and he was going fucking mad. It's in Mein Kampf. Walking up and down the fucking hospital fucking ward, half blind from mustard gas, screaming, the Jews have betrayed us, the Jews have betrayed us. But saying that, Hitler had Jews in his SS. And they tried to tell us that it was all done by accident. They tricked him, but I don't believe that. I believe there was many Jews in there and Hitler allowed them to join the SS. Yeah. Well, Hitler had Jews in the SS. Does that make what does that make Hitler? Sentinel. Do you hear that, Dan? Muscular Christianity believes in nation state. All they let the Shakespearean play. What you mean, like the gypsies, milk supremacist? No, I see invasions of Europe by Genghis Khan and by Suleiman the Magnificent and the Moors, right? These are invasions of Europe. They were military invasions of Europe. What I see now is traitorous elites in our country inviting people in. I don't see any similarity in that. I mean, the Jews were a wandering people that lost their country from the Romans because they wouldn't accept Roman rule. The gypsies were a wandering people that just wandered everywhere and wandered into Europe. But they wasn't invited in, was they? Or was they? I don't know. The Bames have been invited in. Yeah, but they wasn't invited in, was they, milk supremacists? They conquered their way in. They invaded, crossed the Straits of Gibraltar, marched up to the whole of the Iberian Peninsula and got up to Poitiers in France before they got stopped. And on the other side of Europe, Suleiman the Magnificent got to pound on the gates of Vienna until the Poles came down with 70,000 horsemen. I don't know the name of the Pole. And that stopped them. Because if they'd have met, if the Turks and the Moors would have met, that would have been the end of Christian Europe. Well, history always reports itself. Well, no, it was who stopped Genghis Khan? That's the question you need to ask yourself. It was the Teutonic Knights that were under the rule of the Poles. It was the Poles who stopped Genghis Khan. But in a way, it wasn't the Poles, right? Because they had the Teutonic Knights under their rule. There was a powerful kingdom at the time of Genghis Khan, and it was the Teutonic Knights that broke the cavalry of Genghis Khan and killed Genghis Khan. And when in Mongolian history a man dies, they have to go all the way back to Mongolia to elect a new Mongol leader, and they elected Kublai Khan. And Kublai Khan didn't want to go west. He wanted to invade Japan. And that's when I think they called it the Kamikaze Winds, destroyed with 250,000 people. The Mongols done something they'd never done. They were nomadic and lived on the horse. And they invaded Japan by sea and built the ships, a bit like the Normans did when they come to Britain, to England. And it all became a disaster because the Kamikaze Winds or something like that destroyed their fleet on the beaches. And the samurai finished them off. And that was the end of the Mongols, really. They should have they had to go all the way back to Mongolia, but the Teutonic Knights stopped, under Polish rule, stopped Genghis Khan. But the Poles, you got to give it to the Poles. They're good fighters. I bet you do. The Poles also attacked Suleiman the Magnificent and forced him to retreat back into the Balkans. So European civilization survived. And of course, eventually, after about 700 years, Germanic tribes pushed the Moors back out of the Iberian Peninsula, which became the Spanish. But they never really kicked the Arabs out. Right, so who are the only people that are always right? Spengler. Remind me about Spengler. Right, okay. Right, so what have I been on now? Are you still here? It's 1:23. What was your other name? Milk Supremacist? You haven't always been Milk Supremacist, because I never ever remember seeing that name before. Yeah, I'm off as well. Yes, 1:31. No, 1:24. No, sorry, you're right. I'm not sure what time it is. Yeah, but the thing is, Sentinel, all the conspiracies have come true now, so let them carry on. Oh yeah, 1:32. You're right. Thanks a lot, Mima. Hit the like, share. Right, I'm going to knock it on the head now. Thanks for coming on, Milk Supremacist. Interesting. Right, let's get this. Working class. Right, happening now on OAN. Senators debating electoral college results. Yeah, good night, everyone. Right, here we go. I'm cutting it off now. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming on. You missed most of it, Milk Supremacist. We've shown the hypocrisy of Sadiq Khan, and we've shown the false flags today, so you probably know about it anyway. Well, I keep getting my channels taken down. I believe I've got a right to express my free speech, so that's why I keep coming back as I've got 5 channels, Milk Supremacist. So as they take me down, I will come back more powerful than they could ever imagine. So it's a bit like taking something out of Star Wars there. But I always come back as the same name. That's the trick, right? So there's 5 at the same name at the moment, so you can look at all my channels. 3 of them, I think I've got one with 300 odd subscribers because I originally had about 1,700 subscribers and they took it down because I dare express my free speech. So I don't really care that they're taking it down. I can get most of them back eventually. But I believe that Trump's going to win, and he is going to do the Insurrection Act, and he will try these people, and he'll end up having no choice but to execute them. That's what I believe will happen, and I believe that if you want to know what I believe that throughout the whole English-speaking world, we too are going to have a similar revolution what started in America today. And it will go to the European Union, all the countries of France and Germany, and they will rise up. And then I also believe that Miles Gu, that's Guo, is working with Steve Bannon. He's a billionaire Chinese that they want him dead, the Chinese Communist Party. So he backs up Steve Bannon, and he also backs up the Chinese Federal Republic Group. And they're all based in America, and they're the ones that are fighting to destroy the Chinese Communist Party. Okay, so this is basically what we're looking for, me and Dan at the moment. We're looking to see, we must rid the world of communism. And the 2 biggest communist groups, apart from our governments in the English-speaking worlds, right, are the European Union and the Chinese Communist Party. So the English-speaking peoples need to wake up and realise that our politicians are not what they are. Linwood told us, I mean, we all sort of knew it anyway. The other day, Linwood's been saying it repeatedly this last week or so, that Michelle Obama is not Michelle Obama, it's Michael Obama. And that the Obamas adopted them 2 children, just like Justice Roberts of the Supreme Court adopted these children. And these people are not what you think. And my son took one look at Bill Gates and Melinda Gates and he said, why is that man dressed up as a woman? And I never said anything to him about Melinda Gates. And actually, when you look at Melinda Gates, it looks like a geezer as well. And the guy that, I believe it's communism. Well, it's not true communism. I mean, the Rothschild invented communism anyway. He's the one that started it all off. He gave $20 million note, not $20 billion note, I've been corrected today, to Trotsky to take it to create the Russian Revolution. No one would pick communism. It was a trick to trick the people that it was for the people. It isn't. It's about enslaving the people. No one would pick communism as a way to have your people. You notice it's always the ruling class that want to push communism onto the rest of us. It's when Labour betrayed the working class. They never were for the working class. If you believe the Rothschilds are Jewish, then yeah, maybe it is the Jews that are pushing, or the richest Jew in the world. If he is a Jew, I don't know. Jesus Jones tells me he isn't Jewish. Well, Jews were always Karl Marx. All of them were Jews that defected from Judaism and become socialists, didn't they? Karl Marx, I suppose they were all Jews, weren't they? All the communists were Jews. They say that Jeremy Corbyn's an anti-Semite, but he had loads of Jews in his hard left Labour Party, but they really wasn't Jews anymore because they didn't believe in the Jewish religion, unless you believe that it's Jew by blood. So, but communism is, in theory, there is no religion, is there? That's why they attack Christianity. So, it's all complicated. I don't understand the Jewish question. I wouldn't even pretend to say I did understand it. It's too complicated. I haven't got round it. I've got enough problems trying to worry about my own country. But we know that a lot of Jews went with communism. But were they still preaching Jews? Does George Soros practice his Judaism? Does Rothschilds practice Judaism? Do all the Jews that joined the hard left practice like the Karl Marxes and all of them? I don't know how many of them were Jews, but a big, massive percentage of them were Jews. The plan with Brexit is to get a proper Brexit. Boris hasn't given us a proper Brexit. Look, I'll just see that the revolution that started in America today must come to the rest of the English-speaking peoples. America is in the position that started first because they still have the Second Amendment. No one else in the English-speaking world, the Constitution's been taken away from us. But if 50,000 people turned up at Parliament with guns, because Protestants have the right to bear arms in this country under the Constitution, and if they all turned up with guns, AR-15 rifles, what's the government going to do about it? They've only got 80,000 soldiers. They ain't even got enough soldiers to fill Wembley Stadium. And if all the veterans come out with these 50,000 people and they're armed as well, then it's goodbye Parliament, isn't it? And all the corrupt politicians in this country. Because it says in the Constitution, you're not breaking the law anyway, that Protestants have the right to bear arms, and the Constitution is still. So it's a mirage. We have the right to bear arms in England and Wales, and in Scotland, I believe, because they took the Constitution as well. Sentinel, not if you're coming across on one of them dinghy boats, because after everything we was told, and I backed them up on everything on it, it would all stop on January the 1st. It hasn't, has it? They're still coming across, and they're still being escorted. Right. Anyway, I'm going to go now because I want to watch Pence betray the American people and show himself up for what he is, because Pence is probably a paedophile. Right? And we all have to understand that. He's at least compromised by the Chinese Communist Party, but I reckon he's probably both. Right, so